Hey there, math fans. It's Test 4, Lesson 1, and if your swords are ready, let's go. Today we are going to solve problems by identifying patterns and write numbers in words. So let's get going by solving problems by identifying patterns. So when you have a number and pattern sequence, you can usually find a relationship among the data, and that just means it's a fancy way of saying look for a pattern. Look for variations, look for changes, look where you can find the core of the pattern and use it to solve a problem. And we're going to take a look at what that means. So Jay writes his name in the following way. J-A-Y, J-A-Y, J-A-Y. Pretty good way to write his name. And we want to know what the letter will be in the 100th position. So you can see J is first, A is second, Y is third. We want to know what's going to be 100. We could keep writing J until we get to 100, but that is going to take us a really long time, and there's got to be a better way to do it. So what I'm going to do is realize that the pattern is a group of 3. J is 3 letters, and every 3 letters the pattern repeats. So what I have to do is find out how many groups of 3 there are in 100. So if I divide 100 by 3 on my calculator, I'm going to get a number with a decimal. I'll get something like that. So what I know from that is that 3 will go into 100 33 times. 3 times 3 is 9, so 3 times 33 is 99. That means this pattern of 3 will repeat 99 times and then start again. So that means the 99th letter will be a Y. J-A-Y. On 99, I will have just finished the pattern, which means that letter 100 is going to be J, because it will be starting the pattern again. So what is the letter in the 100th position? It will be J. So here we have a really similar question. We have numbers on a piece of paper that were arranged in columns A, B, C, D, E, and F. The paper was torn and some numbers could not be seen, and we want to know in which column you would expect to find 69. Now the only thing tricky in this one, when you first look at it, you might think it's going up in groups of 6, but it's actually a pattern in groups of 12. See, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're actually looking at groups of 12. So let's find out how many groups of 12 I can do in the number 69. So I could go 69 divided by 12. I'm just going to count by 12. So I would go 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72. So right here, after I get to 60, I'll have completed one of those rows. So that means 60 will be in A, because these are my groups of 12. Each of those groups of 12 will finish in column A. So I know 60 will go there. So then I could just figure out where the 9 is, but I'm going to actually count it up. So if that was 60, then my next one will go 1, 2, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69. 69 will be in column D. And if you're paying attention, you've probably noticed that I could have figured that out really easily, because after 60 it starts again at 61. It's going to go the same pattern as the ones did here. So 69 will be in the same column as 9. Either way, column D. And that brings us to our second objective, writing numbers in words. And I'm not going to say too much about it because I have a study jam for you, but I'll do a quick review. So hopefully you're already pretty familiar with place value and how you would read this number, 468,123. Writing that in words, I would just write down 468,123, like so. Where you may get a little bit confused is if there's a decimal involved. So here I have 468,123. If I add decimal 75, the problem is we often say that as 468,123 decimal 75, which is not actually correct. When you have a decimal and you're trying to write it as words, we say the decimal as the word and then we look at the place value on the other side of the decimal point. So when you're looking at place value after a decimal, I'm just going to write a number down here. So on this side of the decimal point, this is your ones. We skip the ones on the other side, but otherwise it's almost the same. This is your tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10 thousandths, 100 thousandths. It's exactly the same except we stick a thus on the end of it. So up here, this is my tenths, this is my hundredths, so it is 75 hundredths. So writing this in words, I would write 468,123 and 75 hundredths. Like so. So hopefully that's not too complicated, and there is a study jam after the review to go over some place value. So here's your review. Number 1, write this number in standard form. So I've written it in words. You need to write it in numbers. 456,101 and 5/10. And number 2 says digits and letters are arranged in the pattern below, 3ATH5, 3ATH5. What is the digit or the letter in the 88th position? So pause the video here and quickly do those 2 review questions, and when you come back, I'll give you the study jam. So here's your study jam, www.tinyurl.com/studyjampv for place value, or just Google study jam place value. And as always, if for some reason you can't do it at home, you can do it at school tomorrow. That's it. I will see you in the morning. Have a great night.